to Red Ted Art. Aren't these the cutest? Now these are really cute and super easy. I promise they are easy to sew. Chooks, they're great for juggling, like like so. Or here's a really big one. Look at this. We made a big denim one as a big doorstop, and it's the same pattern and same ease. I have shared this video before. I'm sharing it again because I know not all of you have seen it, and I think it's such a great easy sewing pattern for beginners. So come on, let's take a look and see how easy and fun it is to sew these. What you will need is a piece of fabric. Any scrap fabric will do, which is 20 centimeters by 11 centimeters. The 11 centimeters basically allows it to have a little bit of seam allowance, but it's roughly 2 by 1, and to be honest, you can make them any size you want, and if you don't quite have a piece that size and it's a bit smaller, don't worry about it, you can still make it. You will also need little pieces of felt, so enough for a the comb and the wattle and a beak. You will need a needle with some thread. You'll also need some thread later on to make the eyes, but you could also sew on buttons or draw them on or use a piece of felt. And then for stuffing, you'll need a bit of stuffing or cotton wool and some rice to give it some weight. So those are the things you need. Now normally I would make this on the sewing machine, but because we are doing a little video, I thought it'd be easier to show you how easy it is to hand sew. Now you can see my piece of material, I'm lining it all up, and I'm going to position my features, so you have to put it inside out. So that's going to be the wattle, so to speak, like that. I'm going to put it right to the edge, not too close because you're going to be sewing here and you don't want to sew it on by accident. Your beak, I'm going to move that over a little bit. Your beak about here, and then your little wattlies. I'm going to put them together. Actually, it doesn't matter if they're not aligned, but in fact, you know what, I want to make it stick out a little bit just to make sure it's all in place. There we go. Now if you are machine sewing, I highly recommend that you pin all this in place. I'm just using some needles to pin it. There's one. I think maybe we'll get away with just one more here. If you're hand sewing, it isn't as important, but when you're machine sewing, things do slip and move out of place a little bit. Right, now you're ready to sew. Again, if you're machine sewing, you just go quick up and round. So we're going to sew these two sides first. Obviously I'm hand sewing, so it might take a little while. In fact, I'm going to speed this part of the video up, so I'm just going to sew along the edge. Right, so I've sewn up and across. I've left my thread on because I will need it again. Now comes the moment of truth. Did I position my beak and everything nicely? Okay, push it all through. I think that will do just fine. I could maybe have put this out a little bit further, but to be honest, I think it gives them all a different character. Now, to do the eyes, I do a little French knot. Right, you're almost finished with your chicken. So now you take a bit of stuffing. The stuffing goes where the head is, at the top of the head, because you want the weight to be at the bottom, like so. So I've just literally a little bit of handful. Pour in your rice. It's no, I haven't got an exact figure of how much rice you put in. It's really just a, you know, you feel what feels good to you. It's probably a couple of tablespoons, for 2 or 3 tablespoons. There we go. And now here comes the magic bit. You're not going to sew it up like this. That would be a flat chicken. You want it to sit up. So the way you do it is you take that and then you pull the sides apart, and then this line should be in the center of the back. Now I'm going to to sew it up. I'm tucking this in like so to create a seam like that. This is where you get that lovely pyramid shape from. Even though you're only sewing straight lines, it's really easy. And now you need to sew this shut. Again, you could run the sewing machine over it if you wanted to. I like to just sew it. I kind of pick up the thread, I go inside and sew it along. So I'm doing quite a reasonably neat closure here, but if this is a first sewing project, I think doing a straight line down the bottom is totally fine and it will still look cute. You have your very own little juggling chook. Isn't he adorable? I do hope you enjoyed seeing these juggling chooks again, and that you're inspired to have a go. Remember, they look great as giant door stoppers. Here it is. Makes for a great gift, and they're really super easy. Now, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Above all, just keep watching and keep making, and we'd love to see you here again soon. Take care. Bye.